sweating, of course, what I actually mean is completely terrifying. I have no idea what I'm doing, um, but I just thought I'd give it a go and see what happens. Um, this is obviously very different to what I normally do, because if I get my words wrong, if I can't think of a word, I can't edit it out. You know, what is happening is what is happening. But the other thing which is very different is that I'm filming on my phone, which means I can see myself, and I don't like it. Normally when I'm filming with my little camera, you know, what's happening on the screen is on the back and I'm just looking at the lens. I don't have the opportunity to see what I look like. And you know what it's like when you see somebody's selfie and when you look at their eyes in the picture, you can see that they're looking at themselves. It's like you're seeing somebody looking in the mirror. Or if you are watching somebody's live video and you suddenly see they're sort of fussing with their hair, and it's like they're not talking to me, they're just looking at themselves. And I don't want to do that, so I'm going to try really hard to just focus on the lens, which is kind of over here. So the natural place for me to look straight in front is at myself, and I'm going to try not to do that too much. So every time you see me looking across, feel free to tell me off. So it's actually really cold here today. So I've got my cup of tea, and it's actually snowing outside at the moment, which is quite rare for where I live. We don't get snow very often, but it was raining earlier, so I doubt the snow will amount to much. I've got a little list of things that I wanted to talk about, just in case I go completely blank and don't know what's going on, which I'm feeling already. So I'm just going to have a quick look. Okay, so I'm going to keep this video simple. In most of my videos, I do a little introduction like this to the camera, and then I'll change the camera angle to look down at my desk to demonstrate some practical craft or to show some artwork or something. Well, I'm not going to attempt to do that on a live, because who knows what will happen. And I'm in my craft room at the moment, and the truth is I don't accidentally want to turn the camera around for you to see the state of my craft room. It's an absolute bomb site. So that will be a video for another day. I would actually like to do a little tour of my craft room, and maybe if I'm brave enough, I might even film the process of, you know, decluttering and tidying it, if that's of interest to anybody. I don't know. But today I thought I'd talk about some of my plans for my channel, because I've got so many hobbies, so many ideas of things that I'd like to do for videos, and I don't know what's of interest really to other people. Like, until I've put it up there and see what comments I get back, you know, it's hard to know what other people are going to be interested in. So if anything I mentioned today sounds particularly interesting to you or particularly uninteresting, feel free to let me know. Because I've not done a live before, I don't know how it works. If anybody watches live, if the comments will pop up on the screen for me, or how that will work on my phone, I don't know. So if by any chance someone is watching live and you comment and I seem to ignore it, please know that means I've not seen it. So when the live ends and then it just becomes like a normal video that you can watch later, if you have made a comment that I've clearly not seen, please just leave your comment again so that I can see it. On my channel, I've already got quite a few playlists of different things that I've done videos about, but I've also got ideas for some new playlists that I'd like to share. Hang on, I'm just going to have another sip of my tea. My most recent craft that I've learned to do is tatting. Have you ever heard of tatting? It's I don't quite know how to describe it. I guess you'd say it's sort of a cross between crochet and macrame. I mean, this tool has got, oh, which way do I go for the camera there? That's not in focus at all. But it's got like a little hook on the end, which is kind of similar to a crochet hook. But actually the process is kind of like lots of little knots. So here's a couple of little examples. If I put it on some, how do I show this without dropping them on the floor? It's so much easier when you can put stuff on the table. Right, okay. So these are some little things that I did with tatting. Just some like little simple flowers. And then my most recent one that I finished is this, which is supposed to be an oval shape with like little heart shapes, but actually that particular one is not a good example. It didn't go very well. My tension was all over the place. I have got better things than that I could show you, but at the moment I can't remember where I put them. So if and when I do a tatting video, I will show some more examples, and my plan is to show the basics of how to start, but also when I started I actually made my own shuttle. So this is just cut out of the cover of a notebook, like a plasticky notebook cover, so that I could actually have a go at it without any of the proper equipment. Not that you need much equipment, and it's not expensive, but even so, sometimes it's nice to be able to start something or to try something out without any expense at all. And then if you love it, then obviously you can, you know, get whatever things are necessary. But if you absolutely hate it, then you've not wasted any money. So tatting is a new thing that I've not yet shown on my channel, which I would like to. And also some sewing. Now I don't do much sewing these days, but I would like to make myself a nice warm skirt for the winter, and I've got a plan to make a skirt without a pattern, or rather without a commercially made pattern. I'm going to make my own pattern. So that's something that I thought might be interesting for others, because you know, you can just then make it according to your own sizes and how long you want it and whatever else. So that's the sewing idea. And crochet is another one. I've been doing crochet for a number of years. This cardigan that I'm wearing today is a crocheted one that I made, and actually I've had more compliments on this cardigan than anything else I've ever owned, regardless of whether it was handmade or bought. It's just the one item of clothing that I've had the most compliments about. Now I know realistically that's because people love the colours, not that they think I'm particularly good. Oh, the comments just popped up from the Philippines. Oh, it's just disappeared before I got a chance to read it. Oh, here we go. Watching all the way from the Philippines. What a coincidence that I see your live show up in my feed while I'm crocheting my own vest. Oh, how lovely. Oh, thank you so much. How exciting. My first comment on my first live. Oh, that's really nice. Thank you. Right, I'm all derailed now. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah, crochet. So again, I'd quite like to do a how-to video, you know, not anything complicated, just the basic stitches. I mean, this cardigan, I think I only used 2, maybe 3 stitches. Also, maybe a video to discuss the difference between American and British terms. So for example, if you see a pattern that's got a stitch called double crochet, Well, if it's an American pattern or if it's an English pattern, that's a different stitch. So why the difference? And what are the differences? So yeah, so that I just thought that would be interesting, especially because, you know, a lot of people that watch my videos are from America. And even in Britain, you know, a lot of the crochet patterns that you get online have American terms. So it's good to know the difference and how to recognise that. And also, again, this cardigan, I made up my own pattern for this because I couldn't find a pattern that suited the weight of yarn. Or I could find them, but only knitting patterns, and I don't really knit. I mean, I guess I can knit, but it's not something that I really do. So those are my ideas for new playlists. But obviously, like I said, I've got existing playlists that I'd like to do more videos for as well. And first of all, not in any particular order, I've got a chair next to me here, which has got a little stack of props, so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I recently shared a video where I did some paper marbling using Sumi Nagashi ink, and I just showed one technique, but there are lots of different techniques. So I'd like to show a few more techniques using that same ink, but also I'd like to experiment with using maybe different types of paper or even things other than paper. So for example, how would it work with fabric, or could I use the ink to marble on an actual, you know, solid object? Would that work? So I just thought that might be quite interesting to, you know, to try some different techniques and to do a few experiments and just see how that goes. Another playlist I've got is for bobbin lace making. So these are a little bit easier to hold on the. So here's a couple of examples of lace that I've made with the bobbin lace technique. And actually my lace video that I made, well, when did I make that? Must be a couple of years ago now. It's one of my most popular videos, and I get so many lovely comments on it from people saying how people have tried to teach them lace in the past and they just didn't get it, but actually my video they found quite clear. Now for me, the problem with that video is that I made that before I'd had any proper lessons. It was just all what I'd taught myself, either from books or from watching YouTube videos. And since then I have had some lessons with a really good teacher, and I'm more confident in some of the things that I was a little bit unsure of in that video. And also there are some things which I did get wrong. Not anything major, but just little bits that I just think, oh, I'd like to redo that video, but not just as a straightforward remake of the video where I try and cram all my knowledge into one video, but I plan to do it as like a series of videos, and then also show like the practical application of that. So for example, on this pattern, like this kind of solid piece here, that's called cloth stitch. So I can demonstrate how to do cloth stitch, that's fine, but how does it work in practice when you're following a pattern, or you know, things like that. So to actually show how it works in the real world, so to speak. And then, am I rambling? Am I going too fast? I'm still really nervous. I've also got a playlist about handmade books, and I did tutorials on how I made these two. So this one is a sketchbook which has got a fabric cover, and then this one has got that Suminagashi marbling. So it's a paper, I mean it's hardback, but it's a paper cover rather than fabric. So I've done tutorials on those. So I've demonstrated, you know, twice how to make a book. But I have got some other ideas for different types of cover design. So maybe it wouldn't necessarily be a full tutorial, but just tutorials on how to make different covers, and then would refer back to the previous videos on how to actually do the binding. I don't know. What do you think? Just having a sip of tea, just to slow my brain down a bit. Right, okay. Then another playlist which I've got is for my lamp work glass beads. So here's a few where I made, like the big beads at the bottom are ones that I made, but the smaller ones are like shop bought. But those are some that I made, which I then put on my lace bobbins. And then also here I've got just a few sort of random glass beads that I made. And I would like to do more videos for that, because I think at the moment I've only got 3 videos in that playlist, and one of those is the very first video that I uploaded onto YouTube, so it's not great. So I would like to do more for that playlist, but I'm not really sure what to do with those at the moment, so that one's sort of on hold for now, unless you've got any ideas that you'd like me to do. And then the final playlist I wanted to mention was my artwork, and oh, thank you. A comment to say that I'm not rambling. Yeah, so I'd like to show all of my previous sketchbooks, including this one, which I did a sketch a day for 6 months. It was supposed to be for a year, but shh, don't tell anyone. So I did a sketch every day for almost 6, well, mostly 6 months. There were a few where I didn't necessarily do it every single day, but yeah, so if I don't get lots of requests for what people would like to see next, then this is probably what will come next. My tour of my older sketchbooks. So I think that's roughly everything that I wanted to say in this video. So lots of ideas, you know, new ideas for things that I'd like to start sort of from scratch really, and then more ideas of what I'd like to add to what's already on my channel. So whether you're watching this live or if you're watching it on a replay, you know, feel free to let me know what you would like to see, and that will help me make a decision. But like I say, otherwise I'll be probably doing my sketches next. So thank you very much for bearing with me for my first ever live, and if I do it again, then maybe I'll give some prior warning that I'm going to do it. But I deliberately didn't give warning today because I sort of almost didn't want lots of people to be watching, just in case it all went wrong. But actually, I think it's gone okay. I mean, I'll watch it back later and I'll probably be cringing, and I know I've been looking at the screen more than I wanted to. I really don't like being able to see myself while I'm filming. But anyway, whether you watch live or on the playback, thank you ever so much for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Bye for now. Now I don't know how to turn it off. What do I do? Oh, like I literally don't know what to do. How on earth do I turn it off? Oh, here we go. Is this it? No. Oh dear. Do I want to stop streaming? Yes, this is it. I found it. Okay. See you soon.